$WARD$, nigga. NAYIMED.
Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. My name is Nayim. I am your host. Today I'm still congested. I sweated out my hair, but I'm here. Now, is the Drake feature worth anything anymore? Is a Drake stimulus package worth anything anymore? Does it even exist? And I'm asking this in lieu of our favorite chap from across the pond, domestic terrorist 21 Savage, having a nervous fucking breakdown and outburst on Clubhouse with some anonymous stranger testing his gangster. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm asking, is Drake's feature dead? Is Drake's feature worth anything anymore? Because Haj Mims, and shout out to Haj, he brought up a very good point. Hold up. I'm sorry, I'm going to be hydrated. But he brought up the point that once you get a Drake feature, that's supposed to propel you to a whole different level of acting. It's supposed to propel you to a whole different type of sophistication. You're not supposed to be doing commoner shit once you get that stamp of approval. Drake is the biggest rapper on the planet. He's the #1 rapper globally. He's the most decorated, the most commercial, and the most awarded rapper, point blank, period. So reducing yourself to arguing on Clubhouse is it just seems a little out of touch with what you the only person aside from Future to get a Drake project. But this ain't about that. This is about the history that plays a part, and we'll spin back on that at the end. But I got a list of all the Drake stimulus packages and possible stimulus packages and just shit that happened with what happens when Drake does something. And this is how we're going to examine by looking at the history of if the Drake stimulus package is still dead, if the Drake feature is dead, if it means anything anymore. So, the first one, What's My Name? Rihanna featuring Drake, November 2010. So this was Drake's first #1 hit. Even though they do this thing now where they count your hit as you, even if you're a feature, they count it as yours. What made this so significant was they were both playing in the same, they're both R&B, one, but they both hung out in the same realm of like, are we friends? Are we dating? Nobody really knew. It was playful. It was light. It was cute. It was artsy. You know, especially like they're both grinding and coming up at the same time. But their relationship factor shit sent it straight to the top. I think it helped her just as much as it helped him. 2, Tony Montana, April 2011. Future featuring Drake. Now, everybody from the South pretty much already, Future was already a part of whatever you was doing, especially the Dirty Sprites and the Astronaut Status and all these mixtapes this nigga already had. Dirty Sprite came along a little bit afterwards. He was always everywhere. You couldn't get away from him, especially if you went to the clubs, or Future was a big part of college for me. So that's how I remember coming into Future, was like college and shit. But like, I think it might have been a little bit before college as far as knowing who he is, but that ain't the point. The point is, when Drake came and got on Tony Montana, because it was like one version where it was just Future, but then there's another version that's like the remix dub, but like, this is the song that made Future a mainstream success. Point blank, like this propelled him into the mainstream. I'll say it ain't gonna say it made him a mainstream success, but it propelled him into the mainstream. Now, number 3, I'm on one. June 2011. DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Drake, and Wayne. Obviously, like, this era of DJ Khaled was just like scorching hot, fucking on fire, fucking blazing. The same thing with Rick Ross. Wayne was still hot. Drake was just like hot, and it just gave him the opportunity to stand next to people that he respected and he admired, and show that he could hold his own against these people who was already considered heavyweights. Because like, if you really think about Drake, he wasn't really considered people didn't really take him serious as like a rapper when he was coming out and coming up. So with him getting on this song, and he was on the hook, I believe, and I would argue he has the most memorable verse on I'm on One, and that absolutely helped DJ Khaled. The Zone with the Weeknd. That's August 2011, and the Weeknd featured Drake. So this was before this is before the Weeknd we know now. This was the Thursday era of the Weeknd when he was just coming out. You know, the Weeknd is from Canada up there with Drake. I think the Weeknd's from Toronto. I'm not sure. He might be from somewhere else. I didn't write it down. But when he got on The Zone on that Thursday album, it gave them a chance to collaborate because Drake was already popping and shit. Drake took the Weeknd on tour. Drake tried to sign him to OVO, but it didn't work out. And obviously, because we got a long list, we're not going to go through every single thing. Obviously, the Weeknd, nobody knows the real number, but people say he wrote more than half of Take Care. That's because Take Care was the Weeknd's album, but we know that Drake, I don't want to say took it from him, but the Weeknd wrote half of that and worked on half of that for him. So, June 2013, Versace, the Migos. Now, we all knew who the Migos, we kind of knew who the Migos was, and we knew when Versace came out. I remember when Versace came out, because motherfuckers was like, this is terrible, this rap style is terrible, what does these niggas talk about, this music ain't shit. This song right here gave the Migos a very, and this is, I think Takeoff was still in, not Takeoff, Offset was in jail for this because, yeah, Offset was in jail because I remember the whole video coming out and it just looked kind of goofy or whatever, like in the beginning. But Versace was undeniably already a hit. Soon as Drake got on it, it gave these niggas a hit. Like it introduced the Migos to, again, the mainstream. He pushed the Migos to the mainstream by hopping on it, just like, you know, I like the song. And he also, in that song, he took a part of their flow, which he does that when he collaborates with people if they got like a unique type of style. He's like enamored. He's a fanboy when he gets with these motherfuckers, and that ain't no disrespect or shot to him, but that's what it is. So he took a part of their flow, which was brand new, you know, everything about that Migos flow was just like, that's what made it. It was so fresh, nobody was doing it. And then obviously the Migos went on a crazy run right after that. So a song from July 2013, Over Here, PartyNextDoor. So PartyNextDoor, obviously, I think he's from Mississauga, which is Ontario, but a Canadian artist. He was the first artist on OVO to get that red carpet treatment. Getting Drake helping PartyNextDoor made PartyNextDoor a household name in R&B. Point blank period. PartyNextDoor is a household name in R&B. It's no denying that. Let's just keep it moving. Who Do You Love? February 2014. YG featuring Drake. So YG was already hot. YG was already buzzing. But like I tell y'all all the time, there are certain enclaves where people will be hot where they from. And I mean, I guess this is everywhere, but there's like certain places you can be hot where you from and you never have to go nowhere else. I would say those places are New York, California, and that whole West Coast, but really California, New York, Texas. I don't know if I would put Atlanta on that list yet because they pretty much have everything. But you can really be, and I'll say New England. So California, New York, Texas, and New England. Those are places where you can really be hot. And you could be so hot you never have to leave your area, and people from other places really won't know you. And I kind of teeter with putting Texas up there, but I put Texas up there because those people don't ever have to leave. With the YG thing, Drake getting on a YG song just pushed YG further into people's faces. It gave people who normally would have probably never really came across YG, it gave them the opportunity to see who the fuck is this guy that Drake is with, because Drake is like scorching hot. He's still, you know, that guy. So that's what that stimulus package did for YG. Now, this one, November 2014, Tuesday, iLoveMakonnen. Arguably, aside from, I think I got one on this list that's, actually, I got two on this list that are in the top three stimulus packages that Drake has given to somebody. Obviously, McConaughey was a fucking nobody. Nobody who knew who the fuck he was. He was known as a producer and a hairdresser later down the line. But Tuesday was a song that some people knew it, but nobody really knew the song until Drake heard the song and he decided he liked it. And the original name of the song was like Club Going Up on a Tuesday, but they shortened it and changed it. Drake gave him a deal, made the nigga, I ain't gonna say he's a household, but people, we all know McConaughey, point blank period. This was obviously like, it's so crazy because I used to think that the McConaughey flow was terrible, but I realized that if done right, that flow is actually really fire. But obviously, Drake came through, gave this nigga's life a total overhaul, even though he didn't last long on OVO for his personal comments and all his shit. But let's go move it on. So, there was a person from Mississauga. His name was RamRiddlz? Yeah, RamRiddlz. And he had a song called Sweet Man. Now, this isn't necessarily a stimulus package. It might be because it could have been. I'll say it like this. This song could have been a stimulus package because it wasn't because he didn't capitalize on the situation, but Drake came out with this song called Sweeter Man, which is, that's kind of a diss if you ask me. But he just took RamRiddlz's whole flow, whole style, just took every fucking thing from the nigga. The nigga never got no credit. There was never no fucking remix. Never signed a nigga. Nothing. We just throw it up there, but, RamRiddlz never capitalized on that. Now, obviously, the song Work from March 2016. Work was a song you could not escape. You could not get the fuck away from Work. It was everywhere, played everywhere. And not only, I think they helped each other, Rihanna and Drake, on that song, but it also propelled PartyNextDoor back up to the front after we got the reference track for Work and learning that PartyNextDoor wrote the goddamn song. All right, now this was a stimulus package. No Shopping, July 2016, French Montana. Obviously, it was a fucking hit because of Drake, because French Montana, I think he's good at curating. I do like some French Montana music, but we know the deal with French Montana. He's a person who he performs well with features. He knows how to bring the best out of features. He's from that Khaled camp. So, obviously, that was just, gave his ass, gave him a hit. Point blank, period. Because if he wasn't on the song, we probably wouldn't have gave no fuck. Now, August 2016, that song For Free by DJ Khaled and Drake. This was DJ Khaled's Snapchat year. And this was the year where everything, like, sprinkling Drake on top of that, just propelled Khaled even more because now Khaled has the eyes. Khaled got people looking at him. Khaled got all the attention. And it's just like, oh my God, like you got Drake, that just pushed the shit all over the top. Way more and more of a stimulus package for Khaled than it was Drake. Now, this is one where I feel like you need to be in the know to really know about the Come Closer, not the song, but like the WizKid dynamic. WizKid is somebody that I've known about since I was in high school. I want to say since 8th grade, because there was this song WizKid had a long time ago called Tease Me, and I feel like I was in probably high school when I heard that. But this was March 2017. WizKid has been grinding. He has been working. But I feel like so WizKid was on One Dance, and that gave him a little bit, more steam, but it solidified him when Drake came and got on a WizKid song. It solidified him in Africa, point blank, period. They got a lot of really fire, really amazing artists over there in Africa, but this propelled WizKid to number one, obviously. And then people like to argue about his popularity in America. A nigga comes over here and sells the fuck out on the East Coast. So I'm not arguing with no nigga who can sell out the East Coast. And he sold out in America. So you can go argue with your grandmother's ghost as far as I'm concerned. Because, yeah, I mean, that completely helped WizKid. There's no fucking question about that. Okay. This number 2 on the list of completely helping a nigga. Look Alive, March 2018, BlocBoy JB. BlocBoy JB was garbage. Complete garbage. They claim he had buzz. They claim he had something going on. He was dancing, but he was unique. I will give him that. He was very, very unique. He had his own style, his own shit going on, especially if we're comparing it to now with like the Pooh Shiesties and all those niggas and the Yo Gottis and the Dolphs and the Key Glocks and shit that come out that areas and all of that. Absolutely the biggest blessing that ever came to BlocBoy JB's life. And then, DJ Paul. I feel like it blessed DJ Paul too by proxy. Drake doing this because the first couple bars of the song was from a DJ Paul or a 3 6 Mafia song, whoever song it was. So this stimulus package, Look Alive, absolutely propelled BlocBoy JB. And what's crazy about this song was he let BlocBoy JB like, here, take the song. Drake has this habit of like taking all the money from the song and shit. He was like, no, he went down there and blessed that young man. All right, hold up. Okay, this is just an extra one, not an extra one, but it's on the list. It's MIA or Mia, whatever the fuck the name of this song is. October 2018, Bad Bunny. What this song did was make Bad Bunny known to a more international audience. Not, I wouldn't say global, but it propelled Bad Bunny to maybe get some eyes on him, to people who weren't interested in that kind of music, to people who weren't like English speakers who didn't really, whatever that kind of music, right? Now, Going Bad, Meek Mill, November 2018. After they little dispute, after they done went back and forth and bickered like hoes, this was the white flag to me. This was the peace offering. We're going to get together, and he basically raised Meek Mill's career from the dead by getting on a song with him and showing that, we cool. And if you go look, that this song is played, I think, twice as much as all the other songs on that album combined. People was happy to see Drake and Meek Mill back together, even though it was a very nasty, nasty fight. But this absolutely was a stimulus package, and it helped Meek Mill 100% tremendously, because they wouldn't have had the same effect if they just would have made up and he would have went about his business. Future, Life is Good, January 2020. So this basically became like the theme song of the pandemic. You couldn't get away from it. It was every fucking way you went. That was from the What a Time to Be Alive, and this was, I don't think this was the first. I think this was like he's one of the only people besides 21 Savage, who's at the end of the list, to have have a project with Drake. And basically, the video was good, the song was good, there's a couple good songs on that album or whatever, but they've been working together for so long, the chemistry was there, it just made sense. It obviously helped propel Future even more because everybody was already excited. Now, this one right here, Young Bleu, Your Mind Still, October 2022. Nobody knew who the fuck Young Bleu was unless, Boosie was telling you about it. But I feel like you had to be down here to kind of know that, or give a fuck about that. When Drake got on that Young Bleu song, it completely changed Young Bleu life. So much so that Young Bleu obviously went behind Boosie back and went and got him a deal with Empire to change his life, put some money on him, just completely upgraded Young Bleu life. He talks about it to this day, how that is the song that completely changed his goddamn life. Drake coming through and remixing that. Now, this one, it kind of, whatever, and we're on number 20, and it's only 3 more after this. 4 if you include 21 Savage. Drakeo the Ruler, Talk to Me, February 2021. It didn't make Drakeo Ruler a big star. It didn't make Drakeo Ruler like this, whatever, international or national phenomenon. But what it did do was make him more of a target in California. Like I said, California is an enclave where you could be famous and you could have this. You know, it's a lot of people out there that got songs with Future and all type of niggas that, you know, motherfuckers did a favor for Mustard and all type of shit. But you don't know them because they're over there in their own world doing whatever the fuck they do. And I feel like that's the same thing with Drakeo the Ruler. It absolutely changed his life, but it wasn't nothing like he didn't get as big as he probably could have got. This one, another fucking Canadian artist, that nigga Smiley, one of the worst fucking rappers I ever heard. The song Over the Top in July 2021. I think he signed to OVO. Yeah, I think he signed to OVO, but like he's just one of the worst rappers, hands down. And I believe it was probably just a fucking tax write-off for Drake. I mean, he might have liked the nigga and was like, we just here and I'm going to bring you out here. We're going to have a good-ass time, and that's what that is. Wait For You with the Tems sample with Future and Drake. I feel like Drake was just kind of a contribution to the song that just made it number one because people would listen to it because they thinking they're getting something super crazy with Future and Drake. You did never really know, and they have a good rapport with working with each other. So nobody really like. I think the song would have been good without Drake. I just think Drake helped propel it to making it a number one song. And Churchill Downs by Jack Harlow. I would say there was no help there. I think it may have just been a nice thing to stand beside him, and I'm standing firm by saying that Lil Nas X is the reason that Jack Harlow is still irrelevant today, not nobody else. I'm standing on that because if it wasn't for that Industry Baby song, Jack Harlow would have fizzled the fuck out a long time ago, right? And now we get to 21 Savage, who's out here acting a goddamn fool on Clubhouse. Obviously didn't do shit for him. If he out here acting a goddamn fool days later, he should be shutting his mouth. And that's just the history of the Drake stimulus package, really. Like, I would say it's still alive. It's still something there musically. Drake isn't one of those people who's known for business. Drake isn't one of those people that's known for outstanding investments and stuff. And if it is, it's something like the little Nautica, whatever the fuck that, I think it's like Canadian Nike or some shit. Whatever that is. Poker, online games, and just shit that is not as heavy as something actual that people could be able to digest and understand. You know, like, this is the music guy. He's known for music. So if you want to be popping in music and popping in a music career, I feel like he can still do something for you. I feel like it's more about what you can do for yourself after he gives you the boost, because, if he can get people to look at you, that's gonna be like, that can be enough if you got good leadership and good management. So I think I'm gonna put timestamps on this. I don't really ever do that. This is the history of the Drake stimulus package. Thank you for tuning in if you made it this far. God damn, I've been sitting here for a minute. Anyway, my name is Nayim.
YIMEDWARD $, nigga. NAYIMED.